school back in session, everything's rolling. What does it feel like to be fully, quote unquote, back with the season less than a week?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to see all the students on campus walking around and see other student athletes back on campus, and just that feel of normalcy is starting to come back, and I think getting exciting for college football to start. So it feels really good right now. We've transitioned from fall camp into practicing once a day and just being able to be with our guys once a day. So so far, so good.
Awesome. And I think, obviously, new conference, new challenges, still got, a lot of competition at camp, to say the least, something we talked about in the past. How's everything going on with the quarterback situation, and how confident are you in those guys this year?
Very confident. It's neck and neck. We chart every throw, every pass, whether it's three-step movement, shot, and literally they're neck and neck, whether it's big plays, interceptions, sacks, completion percentage. I mean, it's like 1 percentage point separates them right now. So we'll use this week to continue to do it. We scrimmage on Saturday, and not just them. There's a lot of really good battles going on. So it's, like I've said before, man, that competition is a coach's best friend, and practices have been really spirited. Guys are showing up with the understanding they got to compete to get playing time. So I think that's what I'm most pleased with right now. So is our coaching staff, just that sense of, I got to compete, I got to compete, I got to compete. And like I said, it's coach's best friend.
All right, and then I guess just last thing for me for now. In terms of week one, right? SMU, what would it mean to come out the gate, get that win, and set the tone for the rest of the season?
Oh, it'd be huge. I mean, SMU's a great football program. They've done a great job. Obviously, the quarterback's gone. He plays for the Kansas City Chiefs now, but they're expected to have another really good one. They got a lot of returning pieces, and it's going to be really exciting. We've got a lot of alumni fan base in that DFW area, so we're expecting a really good crowd. And I know for coaches, for a lot of us that aren't from around here, families are coming in, being able to go to the games. So it's very exciting right now.
Awesome. Coach, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, what position groups have you really been pleased with their progression over the last month?
Quarterbacks, because I think those guys are really feeding off each other in a positive way. The running back room is very dynamic. There's 3 guys there, and they all have a really different skill set. And then we've had a freshman come on who's been really special too. So that's probably our biggest challenge right now, trying to find 4 ways to get, trying to find a way to get 4 running backs involved. The receiver group, we feel depth, competition battle at tight end is really, really good. For me, probably the biggest position offensively I've been pleased with is the offensive line. We've seen really big jumps there athletically with some of the guys we recruited and player development internally. And then defensively, corner is a really good battle. And then defensive line, I think we've got some depth there, and guys are really feeding off each other in a good way.
How different is this roster? Let's take 2 years ago when you kind of have a rhythm of who you're recruiting and who they're going to backfill, but now the rules have changed and guys got new extra year of eligibility. Does this roster look like what you visualized 2 years ago?
Yeah, it does. It does from the depth standpoint. We got to wait and see. Obviously, I'm cautiously optimistic about the offensive line and defensive line. I've said publicly we got to get better play at those 2 positions if we're going to be good. But it feels like we're going to get better play there. The depth there is better than it's ever been. It allows us some flexibility to move our pieces around, especially on the defensive line. So yeah, but like I told the guys yesterday, we haven't had any adversity right now. So we're going to see how we respond when we get some adversity, because it's coming.
Do you feel a need to get guys on the field a little sooner, as far as maybe you want to redshirt them, develop them a little bit, but do you feel an urgency to get them on the field a little sooner these days?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things I started. I've talked with a lot of colleagues throughout college football, from D3 up to FBS guys, and I think the consensus right now, with the unknowing of the transfer portal, the NCAA keeps changing, their stand on that. And so we've just kind of come to a consensus. We had to really pare down what we're doing offensively, defensively, special teams. And if you've got to get talent on the field for obvious reasons, but, that transfer portion comes in there as well.
Okay, Coach, heading into the scrimmage on Saturday, what are some of the things you want the team to tune up on?
Yeah, I'd like to see us we're working really hard on defense to get turnovers. That just hasn't come to fruition the first 2 scrimmages. That's something that we feel like we've got to do better at. And, for me, it starts with more TFLs, making more long situations. You don't always have to get a sack, but we've got to get the quarterback off his spot, change his arm angle. We haven't done that the last 2 years. And so, from a defensive standpoint, I'd like to see some turnover Saturday, harassing the quarterback consistently Saturday. And then offensively, just doing what we're doing, trying to be balanced, get guys in a position to do things that they're good at. I think our coaching staff's doing a really good job. With the running backs, we have some receivers that are they're just real different. We've got some guys that can high point balls, and we've got guys that are good at jet sweeps and screens. And so just continue to use those pieces. And so by Sunday, when we get back in here ready for SMU, I want it very, clear cut and dry for everybody on the team. This is your role. This is what you're going to do. Because I found if you can do that with young men, it really helps their focus, their mental attack, knowing what they're going to do on game day.
And then you already mentioned the quarterback battle, and obviously we'll be watching those guys. But is there any particular players you feel like we want to keep an eye on heading into this season?
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Tyrese White, a running back, and Dobbins, of course. He was first team all-conference. Both of those young men have been very impressed with. Kobe Clark has battled a little bit of injury right before camp started. He's coming on really strong. He's a battle-tested veteran. I think our corner position, Tristan Anderson, Ryan Strapp, I think are playing really good football right now. So those are just a few guys.
How's Dax Deeks doing?
He's doing great. Obviously, he was a walk-on. We recruited him out of Albany, went to Texas Tech. We've got him. He had a really good year last year. We put him on scholarship. He's one of those guys I'm talking about. He's that big-bodied guy, and then we've got the little-bodied guys, and we're using them both. He's what you thought he was. He's selfless, tough, and disciplined every day. He's a great blocker, but he catches really well too. Good route content, and I think the thing I've seen, Joe, is just more comfort in the offense being in it longer.
Yeah, well, it's been your year, so
Yep.
that's going to make a big difference. You talk about talent, and since you've been here, you've had a chance to play a few FBS teams. You got to play 3 of them last year.
Yeah.
What do you notice? What's the difference between those guys and the FCS level?
I think depth. That's number one thing. Number two, and it's hard to explain, but it's the sheer size and the power on the O&D line. It's just it's a lot different, and that's not a knock on our kids or anybody. It's just it's a fact, and that level of football, their ability to attract those kids, it's the biggest difference on the O&D line.
Was that really hard last year to have to play 3 of them in one season?
Yeah, it was difficult. Obviously, Army and their what they do offensively is very difficult. UTEP, I thought we played really well over there, missed some opportunities. But Virginia, again, I know the score was score, but I thought our guys competed at a really high level at all those schools. So you hope that stuff from last year, if you look at the amount of guys that played in those games, are coming back. You really hope that helps our growth and competitive maturity this year.